Political pundits were mystified after Hillary Clinton lost the 2016 election. John Heilman from Bloomberg Politics characterized it this way. Before the 2012 election, Obama's team said, "Here's how many votes we're going to get." And they were precisely correct. How could Obama's team be so right and Clinton's team be so wrong when they're the same people? Clinton's team was wrong because swing voters acted like they never had before. In this video, we'll examine this mystery. This is Part 1, Swing Voters Surged. The world was shocked on election night because the pollsters had favored Clinton for months. So why were the pollsters right in previous elections but wrong in 2016? Polling experts make their predictions using surveys and historical behavior. Surveys indicate what people think at a point in time, and history shows how similar people ultimately acted on election day. The polling experts combine these data sets to give us their prediction, their best guess about the outcome of the election. In 2008, in Obama versus McCain, Nate Silver correctly predicted the outcome in every state but one. And in 2012, Silver's predictions were perfect. He correctly guessed which states would vote for Obama and which for Romney. But in 2016, they were wrong. So what changed? In 2008 and in 2012, history was applicable because voters acted like they had in previous elections. But in 2016, swing voters acted like they never had before. Since history didn't apply, the predictions were wrong. Here's what the polling experts said. Their pre-election surveys showed that Clinton's base of Democrat voters was larger than the Republican base supporting Trump. But a handful of swing voters would ultimately decide the election. Historically, swing voters had always split about evenly, and the pollsters expected an even split again in 2016. In this scenario, Clinton wins. The pollsters knew that theoretically, Trump could win if the swing voters didn't split evenly, if there was a surge of swing voters that suddenly supported him. But there was no history of that happening, so the polling experts thought it was impossible. But in 2016, there was a surge, and Trump won. After the election, the polling experts conducted a postmortem analysis to figure out what went wrong. And they found that indeed, swing voters really did switch to Trump at the last minute. Clinton won the popular vote by nearly 2.9 million votes. But the election was decided in the Electoral College, which Trump won by fewer than 80,000 votes in 3 states. The mystery of the election comes from these swing voters surging, so let's examine this more closely. Let's look at Wisconsin. 2.7 million people in this state voted, and Trump won Wisconsin by just 20,000 votes. According to CNN exit polls, 400,000 of those Wisconsinites decided their vote in the last week of the election. These are the swing voters that we're talking about. Of those 400,000 people, Trump won 60% of them. Clinton only got 30%. This surge yielded Trump 110,000 more votes than the pollsters predicted, along with Wisconsin's votes in the Electoral College. In other words, Trump won this state by 0.8% because he got a 4% bump, unexpected bump, from those swing voters. Similar surges happened in Michigan and Pennsylvania, as well as Florida. Had the swing voters split evenly in these states, as the pollsters expected, Hillary Clinton would have won those states, and she would be our president. Jeffrey Pollock is a 2-time winner of the Pollster of the Year award. Here's how he described his conversations after the election. It felt like bullshit, like a massive cover-up for the pollsters to claim, no, we swear all these people moved. And yet, that's actually exactly what happened. So the postmortem showed that the pollsters were partly correct. The party's bases acted as expected. It was the swing voters who were unprecedented. They're what tipped the election, why we're all so surprised, and why they're the focus of this story. In the middle of October, the swing voters' opinions were evenly split between the candidates. But something happened toward the end of October continuing through early November and leading up to Election Day on Tuesday, November 8th, where the swing voters surged for Trump. As we discussed in the introduction video, Microtarget is all about influence, specifically how a messenger tries to match the right message and medium to an audience to provoke an action. In this case, swing voters voting for Trump. So who were the principal messengers affecting the swing voters? One messenger was the news media, another was Hillary Clinton's team, and of course there was Trump's team. We'll investigate the impact of these three messengers in the next three parts of this video, starting with journalists reporting on the Comey letter.